Have you ever felt drained after spending time with someone? Maybe you noticed your mood plummet after a conversation or felt weighed down by another person's negativity. Why does this happen? How can you protect yourself from such negative influences and maintain your own peace of mind? If you've ever wondered about these questions, you're not alone. In this video, we will explore how to save your life from negative people using insights from Buddhism, a philosophy that offers profound wisdom on maintaining inner peace and positivity. Imagine this. You're at a social gathering, and a friend starts talking about their troubles and complaints. You listen, trying to be supportive, but by the end of the conversation, you feel more stressed and unsettled. Sound familiar? This is a common experience many of us face, and it highlights how impactful negative people can be on our well-being. But don't worry. There are effective strategies to handle these situations and keep yourself positive. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, your go-to place for transformative advice and insightful guidance. In this series, we're diving deep into how you can shield yourself from negativity and build a life full of positivity and peace. Before we dive into the details, here's a quick reminder. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more valuable content to you and others who need it. Now, let's begin our journey to understand and overcome the influence of negative people in our lives. We'll explore Buddhist teachings and practical advice to help you navigate these challenges with grace and strength. Stay tuned for a transformative experience that will guide you towards a more positive and fulfilling life. Understanding negativity. What makes a person negative? Let's begin by exploring what makes a person negative. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to carry an aura of negativity wherever they go? They might complain constantly, criticize everything, or simply bring down the mood of those around them. It's essential to understand the root causes of this negativity to handle it effectively. In Buddhism, negativity is often seen as a result of suffering and ignorance. Imagine a pot filled with dirty water. If the pot represents a person's mind, and the dirty water symbolizes their negative thoughts and emotions, the pot needs to be cleaned to become clear. Similarly, a person's mind, when clouded with negativity, reflects their inner turmoil and unresolved issues. Negativity often stems from unresolved emotional pain or dissatisfaction. When someone is unhappy or struggling, they might project their feelings onto others. This projection can manifest as complaining, criticism, or even hostility. Think of it like this. If you're holding a hot cup of coffee and someone bumps into you, you might spill the coffee. The coffee represents your inner state. If it's hot and uncomfortable, it will spill out when jostled. In the same way, when people are filled with unresolved pain or discomfort, they might spill out negativity in their interactions. Another factor contributing to negativity is a lack of self-awareness. People who are unaware of their negative impact might not realize how their words and actions affect others. Imagine walking in a garden without looking where you step. You might accidentally crush some flowers. If you're not aware of your surroundings, you might unintentionally harm others with your negativity. The environment can also play a significant role in shaping a person's negativity. If someone is constantly exposed to a negative environment or surrounded by negative influences, it can affect their outlook and behavior. For instance, if you spend time in a place where people are always complaining and criticizing, you might start to adopt similar attitudes and behaviors. To better understand this, consider how we learn from our surroundings. If you are around positive, kind people, you are more likely to adopt those traits yourself. Conversely, if you are surrounded by negativity, it might begin to influence your own thoughts and actions. Moreover, some individuals may have deeply ingrained negative habits or thought patterns that they've developed over time. These patterns can be challenging to break and might become a part of their daily life. Imagine a well-worn path in a forest. The more it is used, the clearer and more defined it becomes. Similarly, negative thought patterns become more pronounced with repeated use. So, how can we deal with such individuals? The first step is awareness. Recognize when someone's negativity is affecting you. Are their words or actions bringing you down? Are they draining your energy or causing you stress? Once you identify this, you can take steps to protect your own mental and emotional well-being. Understanding the root causes of negativity helps you approach such situations with empathy rather than frustration. It's essential to remember that negative people often have their own struggles and pain, which might be driving their behavior. By acknowledging this, you can maintain compassion while also setting boundaries to protect yourself from being overwhelmed by their negativity. In the next part of our series, we'll delve into how to identify negative people in your life and the importance of setting boundaries to safeguard your own well-being. This understanding will help you navigate these challenging interactions with more confidence and clarity. Stay with us as we continue this journey towards a more positive and fulfilling life. Buddhist teachings on negativity and its effects. In Buddhism, understanding negativity is crucial for maintaining our inner peace. The Buddha taught us that negativity, whether from others or ourselves, can disturb our minds and create suffering. Let's explore this concept in a simple way. Imagine your mind is like a calm, clear lake. When someone throws a stone into it, the water becomes rippled and disturbed. Similarly, when negativity enters our minds, it disrupts our inner peace and clarity. This disturbance can come from others who are negative or from our own negative thoughts and feelings. The Buddha described negativity as a form of suffering. It's not just about feeling bad. It's about how negativity can influence our thoughts, actions, and relationships. When we encounter a negative person, their unhappiness or complaints can affect us deeply, just like those ripples affect the lake. This is why it's important to understand and address negativity in our lives. One key Buddhist teaching is the concept of dukkha, which means suffering or dissatisfaction. The Buddha taught that dukkha is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to control us. By understanding the nature of dukkha, we can learn to manage our responses and find peace amidst negativity. For example, think of a time when you faced a difficult situation with a negative person. It might have been a friend who constantly complained or a colleague who was always critical. This negativity can create feelings of stress and unhappiness. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to recognize these feelings without letting them overwhelm us. We can observe them, understand them, and then choose how to respond in a way that maintains our inner peace. Another important concept is equanimity, which means maintaining mental calmness and evenness in the face of challenges. Equanimity helps us stay balanced and composed, even when surrounded by negativity. It's like having a sturdy boat on a choppy sea. No matter how rough the waves are, the boat remains stable. Similarly, with equanimity, we can remain steady and calm, even when faced with negative influences. Buddhist teachings also emphasize the importance of mindfulness. Mindfulness is about being aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we can observe how negativity affects us and how we respond to it. This awareness allows us to choose our reactions more wisely and prevent negativity from taking over our lives. In practical terms, this means taking a moment to pause and reflect when we encounter negativity. Instead of reacting impulsively or letting the negative energy affect us, we can use mindfulness to assess the situation calmly. This practice helps us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters, rather than getting caught up in the negativity of others. Another helpful teaching is the practice of metta, or loving kindness. Metta involves cultivating feelings of compassion and goodwill towards ourselves and others. Even when dealing with negative people, practicing metta helps us respond with kindness and understanding rather than frustration or anger. It's about recognizing that everyone, including those who are negative, is struggling with their own challenges. By approaching them with compassion, we can reduce the impact of their negativity on our own well-being. Finally, Buddhism teaches us about the impermanent nature of all things. Everything, including negativity, is temporary. Just as clouds eventually clear from the sky, negative feelings and situations will pass. By understanding this, we can remain hopeful and resilient, knowing that negativity is not a permanent state but a passing phase. In summary, Buddhist teachings provide valuable insights into handling negativity. By understanding the nature of negativity, practicing equanimity, mindfulness, and loving kindness, and recognizing the impermanent nature of challenges, we can protect our inner peace and navigate negative influences with greater ease. Identifying negative people in your life. To understand how to save yourself from negative people, it's important to first recognize who these individuals are. Identifying negative people in your life is the first step toward protecting your own well-being. So, how do you spot them? Let's explore some simple ways to recognize negativity. Negative people often bring a sense of heaviness to your interactions. They might constantly complain about their problems or criticize others. When you're around them, do you find yourself feeling drained or anxious? If so, you might be dealing with negativity. Negative people can affect your mood and outlook on life, often without you even realizing it. They may not always be obvious, but their impact on your feelings is significant. One sign of a negative person is their tendency to focus on problems rather than solutions. They might dwell on what's wrong in their lives or in the world, rather than seeking ways to improve or overcome challenges. This constant focus on the negative can be contagious, affecting those around them. If you notice that conversations with someone often turn towards complaints and dissatisfaction, it might be time to pay attention to their influence on you. Another way to identify negative people is to observe how they speak about others. Negative individuals often gossip or speak poorly about those who are not present. This behavior can be a reflection of their own dissatisfaction and negativity. When you're around someone who frequently puts others down or spreads negativity, it can be a sign that their attitude may be affecting you as well. Consider how you feel after spending time with certain people. If you often feel more stressed, sad, or irritated after interacting with someone, this might be an indication of their negative impact. It's important to listen to your feelings and recognize when someone's presence is not contributing positively to your life. Pay attention to your emotional responses and use them as a guide to understanding the influence others have on you. Not every negative person is malicious or intentionally harmful. Sometimes, people are simply dealing with their own struggles and may not realize the impact they have on others. However, regardless of their intentions, it's essential to be mindful of how their negativity affects you. Protecting your own mental and emotional well-being is important, even if it means distancing yourself from those who may not be aware of their negative impact. By identifying negative people in your life, you take the first step in creating a more positive environment for yourself. Understanding who these individuals are helps you make conscious choices about how to manage your interactions with them. This awareness allows you to set boundaries and make decisions that prioritize your own well-being. Remember, it's not about judging or condemning others, but about recognizing how their presence affects you and taking steps to ensure that you maintain your own positivity and peace of mind. By identifying negative influences, you can better protect yourself and create a space where positive and supportive relationships can flourish. Setting boundaries, protecting your energy. In the quiet of the forest, a wise Zen master once said, "To protect your inner peace, you must build a fortress of calm around your heart." This simple, yet profound wisdom teaches us about setting boundaries. Boundaries are like the gentle walls of a garden that keep out the harsh winds, allowing only the sunlight to nourish the flowers. Let us think about setting boundaries in our own lives. Imagine you are at a peaceful lake, its waters still and clear. But suddenly, someone throws stones into the lake, disturbing its calm surface. This is how negative people can affect us. Their actions or words are like those stones, creating ripples that disturb our inner peace. By setting boundaries, we prevent these ripples from spreading too far and disturbing our tranquility. In Buddhism, the practice of mindfulness is crucial. It helps us become aware of our thoughts and emotions, like watching the ripples on the water without letting them pull us under. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect and self-care. It is not about pushing people away, but about protecting your inner space from unnecessary disturbances. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by someone's negativity. Perhaps a friend was constantly complaining, and their words left you feeling drained. Setting boundaries could have helped you manage this situation better. For example, you could politely let them know that you need some time to recharge or suggest talking about positive things instead. This is not about rejecting the person, but about ensuring that your own energy is not depleted. In your daily life, it is essential to recognize when someone's behavior begins to affect your well-being. When you notice this, it's time to gently but firmly establish your boundaries. This might mean limiting the time you spend with them or choosing not to engage in certain topics of conversation. Boundaries can also be emotional. It means not allowing someone's negative remarks to impact how you feel about yourself. Consider a simple exercise. Visualize a protective shield around you whenever you interact with someone whose negativity affects you. This shield is not to push them away, but to preserve your own peace. It helps you stay centered and calm, even when faced with challenging interactions. Boundaries are also about balance. You don't need to be harsh or distant. Instead, be kind and clear about your needs. For instance, if a colleague constantly brings negativity into your work environment, you might say, "I need to focus on positive solutions right now. Can we discuss this another time?" By doing this, you protect your energy while remaining respectful and considerate. It is important to understand that setting boundaries is a continuous practice. Just as a gardener tends to their garden regularly, you need to regularly check and adjust your boundaries based on how you feel. If you notice that you are becoming tired or stressed, it might be a sign that you need to reinforce your boundaries. In Buddhist teachings, there is a concept called right speech, which encourages us to communicate with kindness and clarity. Setting boundaries aligns with this principle. It is about speaking truthfully about your needs and protecting your inner peace without causing harm to others. It is a way to honor both yourself and those around you. Remember, boundaries are not about creating barriers, but about creating space where you can remain true to yourself. They help you navigate through life with more ease and less emotional turbulence. By setting clear and compassionate boundaries, you are fostering a more balanced and harmonious existence. So, as you go about your day, think about the boundaries you need to set. Reflect on how you can protect your energy while still engaging with others in a meaningful and respectful way. This practice will help you maintain your peace and joy, even in the presence of negativity. Embrace this practice with a calm and open heart. By setting boundaries, you are not only preserving your own well-being, but also creating a more positive environment for everyone around you. Mindfulness, the key to emotional resilience. In the heart of Buddhism, there is a practice known as mindfulness. This practice is like a gentle river, guiding us through the challenges of life. It helps us stay calm and focused, even when faced with negative people. Let's explore how mindfulness can be a powerful tool for emotional resilience. Imagine you're walking through a beautiful garden. The sun is shining and there's a gentle breeze. You take a deep breath and notice the colors, the smells, and the sounds around you. This is mindfulness, being fully present in the moment and aware of your surroundings. When you practice mindfulness, you're not lost in worries about the past or future. Instead, you're right here, right now, experiencing life as it is. When we encounter negativity, our minds can become like stormy seas, tossing us around with feelings of anger, sadness, or frustration. Mindfulness helps us calm these turbulent waters. By focusing on our breath and our surroundings, we can anchor ourselves and regain our inner peace. It's like having a quiet, steady lighthouse guiding us through the storm. One way to practice mindfulness is through simple breathing exercises. Find a quiet place to sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose, feeling your lungs expand. Hold the breath for a moment, then slowly exhale through your mouth. As you breathe, pay attention to the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring your focus back to your breath. Another technique is to practice mindful observation. This means paying close attention to your environment without judgment. Look at a flower, a tree, or even a cup of tea. Notice its colors, textures, and smells. Allow yourself to be fully present with it. This simple practice can help shift your focus away from negative thoughts and bring you back to the present moment. When dealing with negative people, mindfulness can help you respond with clarity rather than reacting impulsively. If someone is being critical or negative, take a deep breath and pause before you speak. This pause gives you a moment to choose how to respond thoughtfully, rather than reacting out of anger or frustration. Mindfulness also helps us understand our emotions better. By paying attention to our feelings without judgment, we can recognize patterns and triggers. For example, you might notice that certain situations or people consistently make you feel upset. By being mindful of these patterns, you can take steps to protect yourself or address the situation in a calm and constructive manner. It's important to remember that mindfulness is a practice. It takes time and patience to develop, and that's okay. Start with small, manageable practices and gradually build them into your daily routine. Over time, you'll find that mindfulness becomes a natural part of your life, helping you navigate challenges with greater ease. Incorporating mindfulness into your life can be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each day for practice. You might start with just 5 minutes of mindful breathing or observation and gradually increase the time as you become more comfortable with the practice. Remember, the goal of mindfulness is not to eliminate negative people or situations from your life, but to help you deal with them more effectively. By cultivating mindfulness, you're building a strong foundation of emotional resilience that can support you through even the most challenging interactions. Embrace mindfulness as a daily practice, and you'll find that it becomes a powerful ally in your journey towards emotional well-being. It's like having a calm, steady friend who is always there to help you navigate through life's ups and downs with grace and composure. Practicing compassion without self-compromise. In the journey of life, we often encounter people who bring negativity into our lives. These individuals can be challenging to deal with, but Buddhism teaches us that even in these situations, we can practice compassion. It's important to remember that compassion doesn't mean allowing others to drain our energy or harm us. Instead, it's about maintaining kindness and understanding while protecting our own well-being. Imagine a river flowing gently through a valley. The river doesn't stop or change course because of obstacles in its path. Instead, it flows around them, continuing on its journey. Similarly, we can approach negative people with a compassionate heart without letting their negativity disrupt our inner peace. When we practice compassion, we acknowledge that everyone has their own struggles and pain. A person who is negative might be acting out of their own suffering or confusion. This understanding can help us respond with kindness rather than reacting with frustration or anger. But how do we do this without compromising our own happiness? Firstly, it's essential to set clear boundaries. Compassion involves recognizing our own limits and ensuring that we don't sacrifice our well-being for the sake of others. Just like a river has banks that contain its flow, we too need to establish boundaries to protect ourselves. For instance, if a conversation with a negative person starts to affect your mood, it's okay to gently steer the conversation towards a more positive topic or excuse yourself from the interaction. Secondly, practice self-care. Taking time for yourself is not selfish. It's necessary. Engage in activities that replenish your energy and bring you joy. This might include spending time in nature, practicing meditation, or engaging in hobbies you love. By caring for yourself, you maintain the strength and clarity needed to interact with others compassionately. Another aspect of practicing compassion without self-compromise is to maintain a balanced perspective. Recognize that while you may want to help others, you cannot control their actions or feelings. What you can control is how you respond to them. Approach each situation with a sense of detachment, understanding that you can offer support and kindness while also choosing how much you engage with their negativity. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of maintaining inner peace and balance. By cultivating a compassionate heart, we can offer understanding and kindness without losing sight of our own needs and boundaries. This balance is key to ensuring that we don't become overwhelmed or drained by others. Lastly, remember that compassion is a practice, not a perfection. There will be times when it's challenging to remain positive and kind in the face of negativity. That's okay. What's important is that we continue to strive towards this ideal, learning from our experiences and growing in our ability to handle difficult interactions with grace and compassion. In conclusion, Practicing compassion without self-compromise involves understanding the struggles of others, setting healthy boundaries, engaging in self-care, and maintaining a balanced perspective. It's about flowing like a river around obstacles while keeping our own well-being intact. Through this approach, we can navigate our interactions with negative people more effectively, maintaining our inner peace and continuing on our path with kindness and strength. Transforming negative relationships through love and kindness. In the journey of life, we often encounter individuals who seem to bring negativity into our world. These relationships can be challenging, but Buddhism teaches us a path of transformation through love and kindness. Let's explore how we can use these principles to change our interactions with negative people and foster a more positive environment around us. When faced with negativity, the natural reaction is often to build walls or distance ourselves from the person causing it. However, Buddhism suggests a different approach, one that involves facing the negativity with compassion and understanding. This might seem counterintuitive, but it can be incredibly effective. Imagine a stormy sea. If you try to fight against the waves, they will continue to crash upon you. But if you remain calm and find your balance, you can navigate through the storm with greater ease. Similarly, when dealing with negative people, instead of reacting with frustration or anger, we can practice compassion and maintain our own inner peace. Compassion doesn't mean accepting bad behavior or allowing yourself to be mistreated. It means understanding that negative behavior often stems from personal suffering or unresolved issues. By approaching these individuals with a mindset of empathy, you can reduce the impact of their negativity on your own well-being. One way to practice this is through active listening. When someone expresses their frustrations or negative thoughts, listen with patience and an open heart. This doesn't mean you have to agree with them or take on their negativity, but by acknowledging their feelings, you create a space where they might feel heard and understood. This can sometimes diffuse the intensity of their negativity. Another powerful tool is to respond with kindness. When faced with criticism or negativity, offer a gentle and positive response. This could be as simple as a reassuring word or a kind gesture. Buddhism teaches that by responding to negativity with kindness, we can gradually change the nature of the relationship. It may not be immediate, but over time, kindness can soften even the hardest of hearts. It's also important to maintain your own sense of self-worth and positivity. When you're surrounded by negativity, it's easy to start doubting yourself or adopting a negative mindset. Remember that your worth is not determined by others' opinions or actions. By nurturing your own positive qualities and practicing self-care, you build a strong foundation that remains unaffected by external negativity. In addition, practicing mindfulness can help you remain centered when dealing with negative individuals. Mindfulness encourages us to be present and observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. By applying mindfulness in interactions with negative people, you can respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This helps in maintaining your own peace and reduces the likelihood of escalating the negativity. It's also valuable to set healthy boundaries. While compassion is important, it's equally crucial to protect yourself from prolonged exposure to negativity. Setting clear limits on how much time and energy you invest in negative relationships helps to preserve your own well-being. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out, but about ensuring that you maintain a healthy balance in your interactions. Lastly, consider the power of forgiveness. Holding on to anger or resentment towards negative individuals only burdens you. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning bad behavior, but releasing yourself from the emotional weight of holding on to grudges. By letting go, you free yourself from the grip of negativity and open up space for positive experiences. Transforming negative relationships through love and kindness is a practice that requires patience and persistence. It's about meeting negativity with a heart full of compassion, responding with kindness, and maintaining your own positivity. By doing so, you not only improve your interactions with others, but also create a more harmonious and uplifting environment for yourself. In this journey, remember that each step you take towards compassion and kindness is a step towards a more peaceful and fulfilling life. By applying these Buddhist teachings, you can navigate through negativity with grace and transform your relationships in meaningful ways. Letting go, the Buddhist approach to detachment. In the quiet corners of our minds, we often hold on to things that no longer serve us. This includes not just physical possessions, but also our attachments to people, situations, and emotions. In Buddhism, letting go is a powerful practice that helps us find peace and freedom. It's about releasing the grip we have on things that cause us pain or keep us tied to negativity. Imagine you're holding a hot coal. It burns your hand, and the more you hold on to it, the more it hurts. This is like our attachment to negative people or situations. We hold on, thinking it might change or get better, but all the while it's causing us suffering. The key to peace is not in holding tightly, but in letting go. To start, recognize what you're attached to. Is it a person whose negativity affects you deeply? Is it a past hurt or regret? Acknowledge these attachments without judgment. Buddhism teaches that recognizing and accepting our attachments is the first step towards freeing ourselves from them. It's like shining a light on the shadows of our mind. Once you've identified your attachments, practice detachment. This doesn't mean you stop caring or that you become indifferent. It means you learn to let go of the emotional hold these attachments have on you. You can start by setting boundaries. For instance, if a person's negativity affects you, it's okay to limit your interactions with them. You're not being harsh. You're protecting your own peace. Another way to practice letting go is through mindfulness. By being present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them, you can create a space between you and your attachments. Mindfulness helps you understand that your thoughts and emotions are not you. They are just passing experiences. Buddhism also teaches about the impermanence of all things. Everything in life, including our attachments, is transient. By accepting this truth, we can ease the grip we have on things and find solace in the knowledge that change is a natural part of life. Nothing lasts forever, and this includes the negative influences that may currently be in our lives. Meditation is another powerful tool in letting go. Through meditation, we can observe our attachments and the pain they cause from a distance. This practice helps us develop a sense of inner peace and detachment. It's like watching clouds pass by in the sky, acknowledging their presence, but not letting them disturb the tranquility of your mind. Forgiveness is a crucial aspect of letting go. This doesn't mean you condone bad behavior or forget the wrongs done to you. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. When you forgive, you release the hold that past hurts have on you, allowing yourself to move forward with a lighter heart. In our daily lives, we can practice detachment by focusing on what we can control, our own actions and responses. We cannot always change other people or situations, but we can choose how we react to them. By focusing on positive actions and responses, we cultivate an environment that supports our well-being. Embrace the practice of letting go as a continuous journey. It's not something you achieve once and for all, but a practice you return to regularly. Each time you let go of a small attachment, you create more space for peace and joy in your life. Remember, letting go is not about losing anything, but about gaining freedom. It's about releasing the heavy burdens of attachment and making room for the lightness of being. By incorporating these practices into your life, you can find greater peace, happiness, and resilience, even in the face of negativity. Cultivating a supportive environment. When we talk about creating a supportive environment, we're not just referring to the physical spaces we occupy. It's about surrounding ourselves with people and situations that uplift us, nurture our well-being, and encourage our growth. In the realm of Buddhism, this idea is deeply intertwined with the concept of creating a harmonious and positive space that fosters inner peace. Imagine a garden. To thrive, plants need not just sunlight and water, but also the right kind of soil and the absence of harmful pests. Similarly, for our minds and spirits to flourish, we need to cultivate an environment that supports and enriches us. This means surrounding ourselves with individuals who radiate positivity and wisdom and creating spaces where we feel safe and inspired. A supportive environment starts with the people we choose to spend time with. Look around at your close friends, family members, and colleagues. Do they encourage you to be your best self? Or do they bring negativity and stress into your life? Just as a gardener carefully selects which plants to cultivate, we must be discerning about the people we allow into our inner circle. It's important to surround ourselves with those who support our values and contribute positively to our lives. Buddhism teaches us the importance of wise companionship. The Buddha often spoke about the value of good friends who help us on our path to enlightenment. These are people who inspire us, challenge us in positive ways, and help us to see the world with a clearer perspective. They encourage us to grow and to overcome obstacles with grace and wisdom. Cultivating a supportive environment involves seeking out and nurturing these kinds of relationships. Creating a supportive environment also means being mindful of the spaces we inhabit. Our physical surroundings can significantly impact our mental and emotional states. A cluttered, chaotic environment can lead to stress and distraction, while a clean, organized, and serene space can promote calm and focus. Take time to create a space that reflects tranquility and order, whether it's your home, your workspace, or any place where you spend a significant amount of time. Additionally, it's beneficial to engage in activities that foster a sense of community and connection. Join groups or communities that align with your interests and values. Participate in activities that bring you joy and satisfaction. These positive experiences can reinforce a sense of belonging and support. Buddhist practice also emphasizes the importance of mindfulness and presence. By being fully present in our interactions and relationships, we can better understand the dynamics at play and make conscious choices about who and what we allow into our lives. This mindfulness helps us recognize when a relationship or environment is becoming detrimental to our well-being and make necessary adjustments. Another key aspect of a supportive environment is self-care. We must also be kind and supportive to ourselves. This means setting boundaries, practicing self-compassion, and taking time for activities that rejuvenate us. By taking care of ourselves, we strengthen our ability to maintain a positive environment and handle external challenges with greater ease. In conclusion, cultivating a supportive environment is about more than just finding the right people and places. It's about actively creating a space that nurtures and supports your growth and well-being. By surrounding ourselves with positive influences, maintaining mindful awareness, and practicing self-care, we can build a life that is not only more fulfilling, but also aligned with the principles of peace and happiness taught in Buddhism. This supportive environment will empower us to navigate life's challenges with greater strength and resilience, allowing us to thrive and flourish. Inner strength, building your emotional armor. Let me share a simple truth with you. Life, with all its beauty, is also filled with challenges. These challenges can sometimes come from the people around us, those who are negative, critical, or unkind. How do we deal with such negativity? How do we protect ourselves from being hurt? The answer lies in building inner strength, like wearing an emotional armor that shields us. This strength isn't about being hard or unfeeling. It's about cultivating a calm and peaceful heart that can remain unaffected by the storms outside. Think of yourself as a tree. The wind may blow hard, the rain may fall, and sometimes storms will come. But a strong tree, with deep roots, remains standing no matter what. This strength is what we need to cultivate within ourselves. In Buddhism, this inner strength comes from understanding, mindfulness, and compassion, both for ourselves and others. To build this emotional armor, start by being mindful of your own thoughts and feelings. Notice how you react when someone says something negative. Do you feel hurt? Angry? Sad? It's okay to feel these things. The key is not to let them control you. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that these feelings are like clouds passing in the sky. They come and go. They don't define you. Next, practice compassion. It might sound strange, but compassion is a powerful tool against negativity. When someone is negative or unkind, it's often because they are suffering inside. By recognizing their pain, you can develop a sense of compassion rather than reacting with anger or sadness. This doesn't mean you accept their negativity. It means you understand it without letting it harm you. Another step is to set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They don't shut people out, but rather define a space where you feel safe and respected. Imagine a garden. You wouldn't let just anyone trample over your flowers, would you? Your mind and heart are like that garden. They need care and protection. Set boundaries with negative people. You can be kind and firm at the same time. Say no when you need to. This is not selfishness, it's self-care. Meditation is a great way to build your inner strength. It's like training your mind, just as you would train your body in a gym. Start with a few minutes every day. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, and let your thoughts come and go without attaching to them. Over time, you'll notice a change. Your mind will become calmer, and you'll find it easier to handle negative situations. Meditation helps you to see clearly, to respond rather than react. Surround yourself with positive influences. Just as a flower needs sunlight to grow, you need positive people and experiences to thrive. Seek out those who uplift you, who bring joy and wisdom into your life. This doesn't mean you ignore those who are negative, but you choose to focus on what nourishes your spirit. Remember, building inner strength is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. Be patient with yourself. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to becoming that strong, rooted tree. The more you practice mindfulness, compassion, and meditation, the stronger your emotional armor becomes. In Buddhism, we believe that every person has the potential for inner peace and strength. It's like a diamond covered in mud. The diamond is still there, even if we can't see it right away. Our job is to gently wash away the mud, our fears, our anger, our doubts, until the diamond shines through. You have this diamond inside you. By building your inner strength, you allow your true, beautiful self to shine, unaffected by the negativity around you. Life will always have challenges. There will always be people who are unkind or negative. But with inner strength, you can remain at peace. You can face the world with a calm heart and a clear mind. This is the power of emotional armor. This is the gift you give to yourself when you practice mindfulness, compassion, and self-care. As we continue our journey together, remember these simple teachings. Be like the tree, deeply rooted and strong. Let the winds blow and the storms rage, knowing that you have the strength within to remain standing, to remain at peace. Your emotional armor is not a shield that isolates you, but a presence that allows you to walk through life with grace, wisdom, and compassion. You are stronger than you think. The power to change your life is within you. Keep nurturing your inner strength, and you will find that negativity has less and less power over you. Your heart will become a place of calm, your mind a place of clarity. This is the way of the Zen master, the way of inner peace. Conclusion: a life free from negative influence and how to stay positive. In this final part of our journey together, let us reflect on the wisdom we have gathered about freeing ourselves from the clutches of negativity and maintaining a positive life. We have explored many ways to guard our well-being and nurture our inner peace. Now, let us tie it all together and envision the life that awaits us when we embrace these teachings fully. Imagine walking through life with a sense of calm and strength, regardless of the negativity that may swirl around you. This is not just a dream, but a reality that can be achieved by practicing what we've learned. The key is to stay mindful and centered, drawing from the deep well of inner peace we've cultivated. We've learned that recognizing negative influences is the first step. Once we are aware of the negativity around us, we can start setting boundaries to protect our energy. This means not letting others' troubles weigh us down and finding ways to engage in positive interactions. Remember, it's not about avoiding people, but rather about engaging with them in a way that maintains your own well-being. Buddhist teachings remind us that everything is impermanent. This includes our relationships and interactions. By understanding that negativity is just a temporary state of mind for others, we can learn not to let it affect us deeply. Instead, we can approach every situation with compassion and mindfulness, knowing that our peace is not dependent on the actions of others, but on our own responses. We have also discussed the importance of mindfulness. Being present in each moment helps us stay grounded and less susceptible to the negative energy of others. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation, can strengthen our ability to remain calm and collected. By focusing on our breath and being aware of our thoughts, we can create a shield around ourselves that protects us from negativity. Compassion without self-compromise is another crucial aspect. It's important to be kind and understanding towards others while also being firm about our boundaries. We can offer support and empathy without allowing ourselves to be dragged down by others' negativity. This balance helps us maintain our inner peace while still being a source of support for those in need. Letting go is also an essential practice. By releasing attachments to negative people or situations, we free ourselves from their influence. In Buddhism, letting go is about recognizing that holding on to negativity only harms us. Instead, we can practice detachment, which means accepting things as they are and moving forward with a light heart. Creating a supportive environment around us is equally important. Surrounding ourselves with positive, uplifting people can make a significant difference. Building relationships with those who bring joy and encouragement into our lives helps reinforce our own positive mindset. As we move forward, remember that building inner strength is a continuous process. Each day presents opportunities to practice mindfulness, compassion, and detachment. By staying committed to these practices, we build a robust inner resilience that helps us navigate any negativity that may come our way. In conclusion, living a life free from negative influence is a journey that involves constant awareness and practice. By applying the principles we've discussed, we can transform our interactions and maintain a sense of peace and positivity. The path to a fulfilling life lies in our hands. Embrace these teachings and let them guide you to a life of harmony and happiness. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you carry these insights with you and continue to cultivate a life of peace and positivity.